Hi, I'm Beth Trapani, and this is a webisode brought to you by the Pottstown Area Health and Wellness Foundation. It's part of a series called The Flourishing Child and Building Resilience. And we're speaking today with Kirsten Freitag-Murray, who is Director of Development and Public Relations for Creative Health Services. So thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Kirsten, tell us what Creative Health Services does.
So Creative Health Services is Pottstown's own community behavioral health center, offering comprehensive services for people who are struggling with behavioral health issues, substance use disorder issues, and it's really unique in that way, treating the co-occurring disorders. And we all struggle with things at different times in our lives, so it's great to have that support, someplace to go and sort things out and move forward.
Terrific. Pottstownmatters.org is the website that we're sending everyone to that encapsulates the partnership that Creative Health Services is a part of in addressing what is known as the Pottstown Trauma-Informed Community Connection.
Exactly.
So tell us how Creative Health Services is involved with that, and we wanted to talk about protective factors in childhood. So if you can explain that for us.
Creative Health was asked to the table several years ago when this was initiated through Peak and the Pottstown School District. And so our clinical director and CEO, Dr. Andy Trentacost, and Jenna Stoltzfus, our director of SAFE and the police liaison from Creative Health to the police department, and I all sit on that steering committee.
Okay. And what does the group really do in the community?
So right now, we are working to raise awareness around ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences, and that dates back to the Kaiser Permanente study of 20 years ago, identifying the adverse childhood experiences that have long-term behavioral and physical health effects if they go unresolved. Okay. I want to point that out because there is hope. You can resolve this and move forward.
And that's really what this initiative is about, is recognizing those. So we're talking about things like substance abuse, divorce, physical abuse.
Yes, neglect, abuse, household dysfunction are the three broad categories. And so if a child experiences these, especially in the early years, it really can have a detrimental effect on long-term outcomes. It doesn't necessarily have a detrimental effect because there are protective factors and promotive factors that can be given to the child, so to speak, that will create positive outcomes and flourishing.
And what are some of those?
So what are some of the protective factors and promotive factors? So, of course, the most important thing right out of the gate is attachment and the nurturing, the relationship that a child experiences with their parent and or caregiver. So we talk about this as a serve and return aspect of a relationship. So a child learns that my needs are going to be met, I'm important, I matter to you, I'm safe when someone comes to meet their needs when they're hungry, when they're tired, when they're cold, when they're wet, things like that. I talk about protective factors as a shield. So it's not to make you tough, it's to develop your strengths. So it's really the parent or other caregivers' jobs, teachers, people out in the community. As children get older, you have more adults in your life who can speak into your life. And so they're giving things to that child so that when they are out in the world, or even when they're with other people in their home, their strengths are coming forth and they're going to be able to withstand some difficulties. We all face difficulties. That's something we can't get rid of in our lives. So when a child doesn't receive those protective factors in the home, then you're more prone to these risk factors. Right. And those happen at the family, the school, and the community level.
Right. So how do we help parents to figure out that this is something that is really important and to get the skills that they need to be able to do that?
Right. So the most important thing when it comes to parenting and giving these protective factors, promotive factors, is you really, it's good to know some child development, because it's good to know what should I be expecting from you. We hear people say out in the grocery store, act your age, when actually that 5-year-old is acting exactly like a 5-year-old who maybe needs a nap and is hungry. So we need to know what's appropriate developmentally for our kids. And we need to develop a family structure that fosters mutual respect. So as a parent, I'm going to respect my child. I'm going to respect their uniqueness and what their desires are. I'm not saying it's going to be a completely child-centered atmosphere, but this is a whole other unique person that I've welcomed into my family. So the other thing that research shows, and I think we all can probably attest to, balanced parenting is really supported by high warmth and high firmness. So the ability to set boundaries within your family is really important. And doing that at an appropriate developmental level.
What kinds of resources are available for someone who says, gosh, I know someone who could use some help in dealing with the fact that they have a full-time job and 3 children that they can't afford to feed? And
sure. And so in terms of what can I do in my own household, there's a page that I added to our website, the PTIC website. That's pottownsmatters.org. And there's a parenting resource page. So there are loads of books out there written on parenting, right? How do you sift through that? How do you know something that's written by a credentialed expert as opposed to, oh, I have an idea and I'm going to write a book?
Right.
So on that page, there are categorized books that people can go get out of the library. They're very accessible, and interesting to read, and they give you ideas. And there's a page that will be going up on the website that is linked to online resources. There are many, many great. Aha Parenting is one that comes right to mind.
That's a great
Dr.
site.
Laura Markham. And again, when you're looking at things on parenting, look for things put out by credentialed experts.
Right, okay. Any suggestions for technology? As parents today,
Yes.
we all lean on technology, but when you're talking about forming those critical relationships and connections, and you have a device in between the parent and the child, that changes things.
So that hits on probably my biggest pet peeve, is seeing parents on their phone. When you're in the grocery store, when you're sitting at Target, they're getting cocoa with their child, but they're on their phone. So you have that barrier to communication. You're not open to communication. So the first thing is to be a good model. Initially, the recommendation of the American Association of Pediatrics is no screen time whatsoever until the age of 2, which I know is shocking to a lot of people, but that goes back to the need for serve and return. I know it's easy when we're tired to put a child in front of a television or a screen, and now we have that. You're out at a restaurant, somebody has their child using an iPad. That's the time to be talking and interacting. So to keep in mind that you need to have time limits on screen time as children age, but again, it needs to be developmentally appropriate, and probably all of us err to too much time.
Okay, great. Kirsten, is there anything else you'd like someone who's watching this to know about the initiative and about Creative Health?
It's very important to me that people know that we have this resource right in Pottstown, where whatever you're struggling with or have questions about in terms of your behavioral health, you're feeling down, or you're feeling like, I just can't get over this thing, just call us at Creative Health. We have case managers that will help you navigate the system and get the help that you need.
And
Yeah.
especially when children are involved, it's important to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, this is a webisode brought to you by the Pottstown Area Health and Wellness Foundation.